Done pooping!
Yeah! What up, yeah? Yeah! Welcome to the One Up Weekly Live! All right, we're here.
Hey, what's going on, dude? Switched up the intro on me, huh? Just don't want to tell me, just doing different stuff.
No,
huh?
I like this little riff,
cool.
you know. Welcome to the One Up Weekly Live. Anyway,
That's cool. I didn't even know about that. So,
so what's going on, guys? Hey, here's the deal. Like, any interesting news come out today? I want to know, Ralph.
Yeah, so obviously, normally, I'm not going to say that I was like on the super quadruple hype train about this, but we did go to CES this year, and one of the booths that we decided to visit was this arcade.
Oh
and
don't ever do that again.
So they actually released pictures of the new design. So maybe, I have no idea whether you had any influence, since you basically went up to him and you're like, this is Justin for real. Yeah, did people in America see this? That's basically what he said. I'm like, wow, dude, way to be super tactful on that. So let's get back to the pictures really quick, and I'll show them to you. So, So these are the new pictures that they released today. And I think they just had like a webcast for like an hour earlier today. But so that's the control panel, buttons, things like that. That's actually what the unit looks like. And the unit's still going to come in two pieces. So you can like buy the top barcade only, and then sort of the bottom base.
Yep.
But I got to say, like, looking at it, they definitely made it more appealing to me. Yes. The design to me catches my eye versus what it was before. I mean, what it was before, I was not very interested in, aesthetically speaking. So that's another shot of it. It looks like they're doing similar things like that Arcade 1-Up does, where it's not T-molding. It's just kind of sort of like this edge mold kind of stuff that is more like tape that sits at the edges of the device. But I will say, if they use the same buttons and joysticks that they had in the unit at CES, it felt pretty good. And they claimed that it was all, they didn't say what it was, but it felt like Sanwa stuff to me. So that's really good. The other thing too is kind of interesting is they still kept the speaker placement there, and they say that's mainly because they say it sounds really good there.
Yeah.
It did have an amazing sound system, and that's one of the things they kept talking about. Like, oh my gosh, you got to see it. The sound system's awesome and all this stuff.
Oh my God. What the heck is going on? Sorry to interrupt, but thank you so much, Zohar, for $99.
I told them not to do that.
Oh man. Oh my God. Anyway, so we'll get back to you, Zohar. Thank you very much.
As soon as we're done the pictures, I'll explain that. And you need to bring that chat back up.
Okay. Sounds good.
So, so the other thing that was, I obviously wasn't on the live stream, so I don't know, but this almost looks like around the IA arcade, there's an LED ring, but that might just be the way they designed it in, Photoshop to look like that.
Mm-hmm.
That could be kind of cool, but a little distracting, because if you think about it, you're kind of like hunched over your arcade unit. That's going to be like pretty close to your face. But the funny thing is, someone on Facebook's like, I love to blast my eyeballs with sound. So, I don't know, retinas. He's like, I love to blast my retinas with sound.
To be honest, it was pretty sweet, actually.
It did sound good, though. No joke. I'm joking.
Yeah.
It did sound good.
When we were there at CES, the big complaint we had was just the looks. And I showed it to my daughter, and she saw the before pictures, she saw the after, and she said, she's 11 years old, she's like, yeah, the new one looks way better. Like it. Yeah, I agree. I think it does.
The UI needed a little work. I felt that it was like not fully baked yet, but I don't know. I didn't look like they had pictures to show. So basically, bottom line, this is what it looks like. That bottom base is right there. When you look at it from the side, I don't like the way it looks. Like, I don't, because it just doesn't look like a normal arcade, but I guess it's like a modern take on an arcade, but it doesn't have a whole lot of character from the side. The cool thing is it's an opportunity for guys like Tyler over at Arcade Graphics and guys like Joe Sabo and Escape Pod to come and give us some unique designs that make us like it, make us like it more from an aesthetic standpoint. But that always comes at an added cost. But I guess what they're going to do is they're just going to do a Kickstarter, and I think you save a considerable amount of money. So I don't have that link yet, dude. What is that actually? I didn't notice whatever that thing is in the middle. I wonder if that's like a subwoofer. That looks like a speaker grill.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
notice that until just now.
Huh,
Could that be maybe like a subwoofer? Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't
Or
know.
if
That
it's
looks like
not, that's an interesting mod you could do.
Yeah, of course. Ready to mod it. This actually seems a lot more moddable than like the Yak Games Legends Ultimate. So this might be something that might be fun to mod because there's not a whole lot of like it looks similar constructed as like an arcade 1-up. So could be fun to mod and play with. But anyways, that was the big news from from IA Arcade, and they're gonna have that Kickstarter. So that's cool. I mean, pretty neat. Did Zohar do 2.99 transactions?
He did 2, literally in the chat all day. I don't know because the countdown is based on the dollar amount, right? So I think So sorry, we both clicked at the same time. Why don't you explain it, Ralph? So then, because we got more, we got more to the show.
Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. So, but I'll cover it really quick. So when we were at it was post CES. Zohar had contributed so much. We didn't even know really who Zohar was until CES, because CES, it was like he became this personality. He was all over the chat, and Justin and I we'd go back at night and be like, dude, the Zohar guy is like super involved in the show, which was really cool.
Right.
So anyways, we come to find out how much he likes Mortal Kombat and all that stuff, and we were just wanting to. Justin and I were talking at CES during like breakfast or something. Said, what can we do as a give back thing to Zohar, which is why I wish he didn't do what he did. But I was like, well, let's get him a Mortal Kombat. But I was going to make one, and we were going to deliver it at E3 because we were thinking we were going to be going together, Justin and I, to E3 in LA. And I thought, how cool would that be? We get to meet one of the like people that love watching the show that we actually have grown pretty close to, and do something really cool to give back. And it didn't work out that way because of COVID-19 and E3 being canceled. And I just felt like the things are so crazy right now, and I just don't have the time to build him a cabinet. So I'm like, I'm gonna get him a Mortal Kombat and just send it to his house. And so that's what we did. So I sent him the Mortal Kombat. About a week ago, I ordered it, and he sent me the picture that it showed up today. So that was pretty cool. He's definitely the person that deserves a Mortal Kombat cabinet. That's for sure. If there's any one person,
that's right. Yeah. So thank you again, Zohar, for your awesome support, and we look forward to helping, continuing to entertain you guys through on and throughout. So I think we should get into it, Ralph. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, let's do it. So what we planned on doing is, and I immediately start talking. This episode is all about cool stuff, right? So we've done these episodes before. We kind of call them like show and tell. Essentially, we're going to go through a whole bunch of list of items that we think are really cool, and we want to know what you think about them. So let's start with the first one.
All right. I'm waiting for you to push up.
Oh, you want me to
bring up my? You're so much better at doing that than me.
You're like so he can. You mean I have to use my hands?
Yeah, he can control the desk cam. So all right. So one thing that I think is really neat when you start thinking about retro games and retro gaming in general is this concept of still running original hardware. And so that becomes a little cumbersome if you don't have a collection, or if your carts aren't working, or old, or whatever, damaged. But what's your other option if you want to sort of leverage these older machines that you might have laying around, like a Sega Genesis or a Super Nintendo or an NES or anything like that? And so Everdrives are pretty damn cool if you haven't seen these or heard of these before. So basically, this is a cart that you put inside. You could put this in a Mega SG. You could put this in a Sega Genesis. This is the Genesis version of it, and it's made by this company. I always say it wrong. Krikz.
Yeah. So it's KRIKZZ.com. This guy, he makes most of them that you find out there. And if you Google Everdrive, you're probably going to hit his site or Amazon.
Yeah, and what you do is it's got a little. If you look in the top, it's got a little. Oh shoot! Sorry, I moved my camera. You got a little micro SD card right in there that you put inside the unit. So you put your ROMs on this, and then you basically, you put the card in your system, and it doesn't have a flashy interface. Like, sorry, I can't get it back in for some reason. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have a flashy interface, but the cool thing is you don't have to have like a whole bunch of carts that you're constantly putting in the system. So this is the one for the Sega Genesis. There's also these are the two that I own. I have one for TurboGrafx 16. I had showed this before, but it's kind of cool. It's like a Hue card that they've turned into in Everdrive. So on the, right here on it, you see you've got your micro SD slot, and you load your TurboGrafx 16 ROMs. This will do TurboGrafx 16, PC Engine, and I think it doesn't do the CD based stuff. But I just think that's pretty neat. So that's one kind of show and tell item that I think is pretty cool. The other thing, so if you're not into these, which these can be pretty pricey, you can go a different route. The other route kind of is like sort of do it at your own risk, maybe, what I would say.
Right.
The reason why I say that is these are China brand multi-carts. So these actually have, like, this one right here is a Super Nintendo one. It's got 100 Super Nintendo games on one cart. You can get these really cheap. I mean, these are like $10 on AliExpress for something like this. And they come in different flavors. There's an NES version. This has all the versions of Ninja Gaiden on it. It has a bunch of Mega Mans, it has Castlevania, the whole Castlevania series on NES, all on a single cart. So these are kind of cool. So I have the SNES version, I have an NES version, and I have another Genesis. This has actually got 196 games on it. But the thing is, so this idea of sort of these multi-carts or Everdrives, it goes beyond consoles. It actually goes into arcades too. So this is actually a Neo Geo cart that has 161 games on it that goes into original hardware. So some people that want to, like, maybe create, like, let's say you want to do something really fun and create yourself a arcade 1-up, or some kind of multi-cart that uses original hardware, you can use a cart like this. Now, now something that's even cooler that I just got, and I don't know a lot about this, so I don't claim to be an expert, and I'm going to get it really quick. Sorry, it's on the floor. This is really cool. So this is called the Darksoft CPS2 multi-game. So what this thing is, and I'll open it up real quick, this is basically a Everdrive for your arcade. So if you have an original CPS2 board, and I'm not going to go through all of it, I haven't even unboxed it yet, but basically you modify your arcade board so that I could have like one standalone full-size arcade machine that's running, let's say I want it like Capcom, but this is for Capcom. So I could do Punisher, I could do Street Fighter, Alpha, Street Fighter Alpha 2, like all of the CPS2 games all on a single board. And what it does, it's got this like cool little, I'll bring it out real quick, but you mount this little unit somewhere on your console, and like this scrolls through the games, and you just basically say, okay, I want to load that game, and then it flashes that game to the board and plays it. So it's so, like, that's pretty neat to think it's come as far as you can even do multi games with physical arcade machines. Like, that's pretty damn cool. So this stuff fascinates me, and it's a way for you to get into, maybe get into retro gaming without needing like 100 carts, or having to go back and buy maybe the collection of carts that your mom probably threw away because she's like, oh, he's out of the house, I'm going to throw this out. I wasn't lucky enough to have the foresight, like a lot of you guys, to go, I'm going to want this stuff later on in life. And I totally screwed the pooch on that. I can't believe I just said that. I never say that saying. But anyway, so that's my one little show and tell item. But I have more. After Justin.
You have more? You gotta, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Oh, that's right. Yeah. We're swapping. Okay. So let me show you what I got cooking. I wanted to show you guys something pretty cool. So you're probably like, well, that's pretty lame. It's just a Nintendo 64, right? But there's more to it, right? So let's talk about it. So Nintendo 64, right? And then we got, why not? Well, we got an Everdrive for it from Crix there. Same idea. These are FPGA based cartridge emulators that take an SD card, and some of them are simple as just, sending
now, Justin,
data.
wait, real quick, because I didn't cover this. It's not emulation though, right? You're using the real physical hardware, right?
Yeah. So everything we're talking about here, I got a real hardware, right? We got a Nintendo 64. And then instead of using the actual Nintendo 64 cartridges, we're using an Everdrive, and you're loading the games onto the SD card. And then there's an FPGA in here that is actually pretending to be every cart, And then it has a menu that allows you to select the games. And so that's cool, but there's one problem. So the Nintendo 64 itself doesn't have like the highest quality output. It doesn't have like a component out natively, doesn't have RGB natively. All those circuits are basically there, but they're just not connected. And so an item that's pretty popular is, see if I get this right here, is the the Ultra HDMI kit. So this you can buy these from Game Tech if they're ever in stock. The problem is
this is the best. This is to make your N64 look amazing on a modern display, right?
That's right.
The goal of this thing.
That's the goal. So let me go ahead and look, I'm doing an unboxing. Everyone, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Look, I'm gonna open this up, and then everyone's gonna say, "Wow, hit like please right now because I opened something." So check this out. Sorry, I don't know why I said all that. So
pretty lame.
It's also FPGA, right? So we got an FPGA on here and HDMI out, and this one's a pretty complicated mod to do. What's cool about it is if you know how to do it and you're good at it, you can do it pretty quickly. Because all you have to do is it's just this ribbon cable. The hard part is actually soldering this ribbon cable. See how small this is? See how those little pins, the little gold there? Each one of those pins has to be soldered. It's not like you're soldering them individually, but you have to have the techniques to be able to do use very, very, very little solder. We're talking like just the tip. You barely put any on your actually soldering iron. You use a lot of flux, and then you can run your soldering iron across that, and you can connect that and have a good solid connection. And then
seems like you've done this before.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm showing this is I only have 2 left, right? And one's for me, and one it's surprise, Ralph. It's going to be a giveaway. No, that's just a joke. Actually, one's for you, Ralph. You're actually looking at one that I plan on.
I don't believe that, but okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the plan. This is to get this set up now. If you go check it out on eBay, these go for, I think they're like,
okay, JP and I are best buds because he's like, got it, gobs of solder. That's me. I don't know how to control my solder. I don't even know. I have bad solder control.
Yeah, maybe sometime we'll do a video on how to solder well, So that's really cool, So where does this go? This goes into the back. So what ends up happening is you normally would cut. Let's see if we can see it right in here. You're going to make a cut right in here, and then the HDMI port's going to stick out right above this multi-out. But no, we don't want cutting. Like, why would you want to abuse the console? So you pick up one of these. It's a 3D printed replacement to that plastic piece that's in the back. So I'll kind of show it how this works.
Justin, while you're doing that, I knew you're going to get a lot of questions like this, and I know you don't necessarily want to go here on the show, but Stringer Films asked, Justin, how much would you charge to solder mine if I sent you all the stuff? So does that ever happen where someone says, here's the stuff, I want you to put the kit together? Or
yeah, I used to do that a lot. Ever since I started working with Ralph
everything. Basically,
you ruined everything. That's right. we can talk. I might be able to have some time later to be able to do a mod like that. No problem.
But you used to do these. Like, I feel like you're not telling people like that's what. Wait. Is this what console kits means?
Right.
I figured it out.
He finally figured it out. Oh my gosh. So yeah,
I told you I'm not the smartest guy in the world.
Console kits was a business. I mean, it technically still is a business, but yeah, I was a modder. I wasn't a big one, but I've done about 10 of these. I've done hundreds of other consoles.
All right, everybody, press 1 if you knew that console kits meant console kits, and press 2 if you didn't.
Okay,
we'll go back to Justin.
Right. Anyway, so check this out. This little adapter here means you don't have to cut it. And you can see this is where the HDMI port goes. I think these go, it's less than $25. The guy who makes this also has, I'll put a link in the description after the show is over, or comment. The guy who makes this also has a 3D print for an actual Nintendo, like the top loader, which is really sweet. Those are $25. I just picked up, I think, 4 of those. Those are going to be really good. So anyway, these 3D plastic pieces mean you don't have to cut it, and you can just keep the original one. If for some reason you ever wanted to revert it back, you could. And keep it original. So keep an eye out for these. Check out eBay for the prices. Sometimes they fluctuate. Right now, they're really high in demand. And so I think some people are selling the kits by itself for $500. But I think these kits, when I bought it, were like $150 for the kit. But it does look great. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube out there that show the quality. I think Metal Jesus did a pretty good video, actually, of showing the quality side by side of with and without the Ultra HDMI, and it's pretty good. But the bad part about the Nintendo 64 is, I mean, the games itself. Oh, I'm sorry, Ralph. I think I'm revealing early.
You're jumping ahead. Oh, you suck.
Let's just jump right into it. So, Ralph, what do you got there?
Oh my gosh, you suck. First of all, I'm suck at the ones and twos. I don't even know, but it seemed like everyone else knew what console kits meant, but apparently I didn't. So I'm an idiot. It must mean that you did stuff with consoles before. So cool.
Yeah, whatever.
I didn't know that.
Whatever. See what happens. I was over here, and you were supposed to man it, and you weren't supposed to put it up yet. But anyway. So the Nintendo
you keep on moving your microphone, and it's making scratchy noises. It sounds awesome.
I'll work on it.
I love your scratchy noises.
I'm not Joe Rogan, so whatever.
All right, so
let's go to the next one. So that's something cool. Let us know if you think it's cool. Let us know if you have one, you think about getting one. Is Nintendo 64 is something that our group really likes? Because I know there's a huge following of people
it seems like whenever we bring up N64 on the show, people get really excited about it. Because when we were talking about the potential of a mini N64 console, everyone's like, I'd buy it, day one purchase. But I think it's because I think that console is kind of an interesting time period where it was released, because I was we were all a little bit older, but it was still a console we invested a lot of time into, I feel. So, and it was such a great console. Like, it was just, it had so many firsts that it was just a really, I mean, I always loved the N64. My problem was always, it really sucked when you hooked it up to a modern display. And actually, I think until I met you and you really explained to me how to get it to look good, did I really go, oh, I could maybe use the original hardware, which I do still have a Nintendo 64 here. I just don't have it. It just doesn't look very good when I hook it up.
Yeah.
By the way, Josh, thank you. I love that you suck at soldering too. Justin actually went through this thing where he was on the phone with me one time while I was soldering something, and he I don't know. I'm so childish. He kept saying what is it when you put
it's really simple, right?
No. What is the term when you just you tin the tip? He kept saying tin the tip or something, and I just started laughing. I'm like, tin the tip.
Tin the tip. You got to clean your soldering iron. You got to put solder on your tip. The tip itself needs to be tin.
It's just too much tip talk for me. I just can't handle all the tip talk, but that's because I'm childish.
Right. Anyway. Okay, let's move on to the next subject quickly.
Oh, dude, so I got to throw that up. It was all about GoldenEye for sure.
Yeah, and the GoldenEye. Yeah.
Boltzilla plays. That's right. Just the tip. All right. Now there's going to be lots of tip jokes. Tip jokes are rolling in. All right.
So let's move on to the next one. The next one.
Let's do it. So this is actually something I should have featured on the channel forever ago, and I keep on actually forgetting to do it. But it's these. I don't know if you guys have seen these, but these are really, really cool.
Side panel. That's pretty sweet. Oh, look at that.
No. These are awesome. So
it's a little baby cabinet.
Yeah, it's a little baby cabinet, but they're so cool. So Numbskull makes these, and I've done one review of these on. Let me see if I can zoom out just a tiny bit more so you guys can see a little bit more of it. Okay, you're gonna see a little bit of my messy desk, but Numbskull makes these, and they're sort of these they're pretty tall actually. They're over a foot tall, so they're not small. But the design of them. What's that?
You said tall.
Yeah, they're tall. They have a light up marquee and everything. So I'm gonna turn it on real quick while we're talking. And when you turn it on, you'll see it actually boots up like a regular.
You know what? I'm really glad. I'm really glad you didn't unbox it.
Yeah, I know.
So look, is that indicated to the arcade ROM? Is that what it's doing?
Yeah, it plays the arcade ROM. It's got a light up marquee, which is gonna be hard to see on this screen. The marquees love to just look kind of junky on
my family.
What?
That would be a great arcade for my daughter's Barbie dream house.
Yeah, they're really, really cool. And the cool thing is they run the real arcade ROM. So when you hit the little switches right here, can you guys hear that? When you do that, here, I'll actually put it up to this. Hold on.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I can hear it.
Wait, hold on. I don't have it. Hold on. There we go. So as you put in quarters, this is the arcade ROM, and this little. I'll put it up to the microphone. I don't doubt you're gonna be able to hear it. Can you hear the micro switches? Probably not. All right. Anyways, forget about it.
Click.
But it's got micro switches, legitimate micro switches. The panel on the front looks exactly like it did in the arcade, but it plays really good too. I'm gonna try to play it through the camera, so I'm actually not looking at it. Let's see how much lag we have in the.
So the actual unit doesn't have much perceivable lag. Is that right? But through
No, there's hardly any. They actually claim there's 0. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like the thing is, it's like one of those cool desk items, right?
Yeah.
But they come in different flavors. So the reason why I bring this up is because I'm really excited for those mini consoles that Arcade 1-Up's coming out with. Like, it's a cool little genre of products, and I think these are actually pretty expensive. That's why I'm excited about the Arcade 1-Up ones. Like these go for 100. I think they're about $100 something. So that's pretty pricey. But the attention to detail is so appreciated on these things. Like if you go downstairs and look at my actual Miss Pac-Man Galaga 20th anniversary, like the grill looks exactly the same. The way they made these brackets for the even like the rivet placement on the brackets are all the same. If you look at the back of it, where the plate is, these cutouts for ventilation, these are all exactly the way they look on the actual back of the arcade. Like, look at the mesh that they put in here.
Man,
like, look at that. That's really cool.
It's like a replica, like, right? But like, just what is it?
It truly is.
It
truly
is scale. Is that what it is?
I don't know what the actual scale would be, but these are exactly like they are on the actual arcade. If I slide it
look
around,
how big Ralph's hands are.
Yeah, and they have there's a volume control right here. There's a couple other things. There's like you charge it, so it does run on batteries, so you can charge it. It stays charged for a pretty long time. But even the side art, like the detail on the side art, if I were to go downstairs and put this right next to my Miss Pac-Man side of that machine, it looks identical. Like, look how cool that thing looks.
Yeah,
they just did a really good job. Now they're pricey, but if you're a big time collector and you love these kinds of things, like I think there's going to be a lot of people that will collect those Arcade 1-Up versions of those little consoles because they're fun, those little ColecoVision things. So, but I really like this company. I think they do some pretty cool stuff. Let's see if I can get a good angle. You can see the light up marquee looks pretty good, right? You can kind of see it from the side. When I go forward, it kind of washes out because of the camera, but it's just a neat little thing. If someone likes to collect these, they do look cool all in a row because I have this one and I have Galaga and I have the Pac-Man one as well.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'll say is there's two companies. This is Numbskull that makes this. Then there's New Wave Toys that makes them too. So you might be familiar with New Wave Toys, Justin. They make those. Have you seen they have like those whole mini arcades that they do? Yeah, like they have a little carpet. Like they actually have a fake carpet they sell. They have a coin charger which charges their actual arcade units, and you can set up a little arcade. New Wave Toys is pretty neat. I think the quality is better on the Numbskull units than New Wave Toys, but if you guys ever watched it, I should see if I can pull it up while I'm on here. I broke the handle. we were using the Street Fighter one at CES one year.
Oh, that's right.
And it wasn't CES. Was that E3?
That was E3.
And I was doing Hadoukens like crazy because there's like these little control pads and the little thing, the little bat top flew right off of it. It broke. But these are super fun. I think you guys would enjoy something like this. They are pricey though, but if you're into those like mini consoles or collecting those mini consoles, they're pretty damn fun.
Yep.
And the emulation is like spot on. So those of you that enjoy the game, you just enjoy it in a much smaller scale. So.
Yep. All right, let's move right along. Let's do this. So I'm going to go to my next one. This one I'm pretty excited about. I actually bought this about a year ago, and I haven't opened it in a while. I know you're looking at a blank screen, but it's because I wanted to do this. Wanted to be like, show you what it is. This is a Virtual Boy.
Oh, no way. What?
Yeah. But check it out. It's in a case because I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't see it because of the lighting and whatnot. This is a Blockbuster unit. So Blockbuster, remember back in the day when you didn't have the console, you could go to Blockbuster and you could rent the console. So you're probably thinking, Justin, you bought a rented Virtual Boy? Like, it's probably in horrible condition, but it's not. Because who would rent?
So what are we looking at exactly? Am I looking at the case? I can't see all of it.
You're looking at the case. Unfortunately, I'll see if I can switch. Let me go to this, and I'll just kind of hold it up.
No way. So that's actually the Blockbuster case, because I remember they had like if you didn't have a console, They even had, I remember at my Blockbuster, you could rent the 32X. Like if you wanted to do, that's so crazy.
Yeah, like the Blockbuster went out of business, and they started selling them. And I don't know if I can pull this off on camera. Let me see. I'm gonna open it up and show you guys the inside. Let me go back to the desk cam here. All right, you ready?
Those were, so Remy 8169 says those were rarely. Oh wow, that looks like in really good condition. You just moved something that. Oh yeah, wow, dude, that looks like it's in really good shape.
Yeah, surprisingly, it works perfect. This one that I have works perfect, and the one that I got, they only made, I think it's 19 games. So I have, let's see,
how many do you have?
2. Let's see if I can get them in the shot here. 3.
My question is there 4. A Virtual Boy Everdrive?
There's a guy that's working on it, actually.
Really? No way.
There is one that's out there, but it only can load like one game at a time. But there's a new one coming out that allows you to load them simultaneously.
Oh wow! How cool
like you could only flash one at a time. I think I have 9 games. Like I'm basically halfway there on the collection, but they're all just free carts. And I actually picked up another Virtual Boy. So this is the one I got. That's the Blockbuster version. And then there's a couple companies that sell like the replacement visors. That's what goes out. It gets worn out. And I think I can't remember which company it is, but it's like Hyperkin or something. I can't remember. It's one of the companies that actually.
You're being Zero Hero is saying that you rented it and never gave it
back. Yeah. So I have another one, and I actually picked up what's called the Virtual Boy Consoleizer, but I haven't put it together yet. And so the Virtual Boy.
By the way, my family said he played the Mario Tennis game and got really sick. Yeah. So does it have that like? Because this was early days virtual reality. Do a lot of people have a hard time with it?
No, I don't think so. Actually, I'm messing up the stream. Sorry. Let me.
Hi. Hey, how you doing?
There we go. So okay, so let me tell you a quick story. So in 96, when this came out, I bought a Virtual Boy, and that's one of the reasons why I picked up this and added it to my collection, because it's something that I used to own when I was a kid. So I got a Virtual Boy, and then my mom told me, "Hey, does it give you headaches?" And I was like, I think so. And she goes, maybe you should return it. So I returned it and then bought like Super Nintendo games or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was looking online, and someone's like, this sounds weird, but if you want to play Virtual Boy, it's just not set up to like, you can't like just sit there. Just the way you're going to angle your body and like put it on a desk and like play. You can do it, but you probably can't do it for very long. It's just kind of strains on a lot of your muscles.
Yeah. What was up with like, why? Who decided to be a good idea for that to be that way? Like, why didn't someone just go, "Hey, could strap it to your head"? Like, what?
Yeah, it just didn't work out, right? So what you can do, and I tried it. So when we got this working, I cleaned it, make sure it was in good working order, and I played it, and I let my daughter play it. And what I found online, I think it was the My Life in Gaming crew was saying, what you do is you lay down. That's the trick. Lay down on the floor on your back, and just put the Virtual Boy on top of you. And if you lay down, you'll just sit there and you're playing, and your neck's not going to hurt, and you're fully immersive, and it's a pretty decent experience. So we spent a couple hours doing that, taking turns, and we'd play through, we tried out every single game that I have. Yeah. And then, but my plan is to do the Consoleize, where you can actually put it onto a CRT. It's all red, but there's a whole bunch of games. Yeah. And then they're now still finding games that were never, that they were like working on. I don't know the full story, but I'm assuming it's like they were working on these games. They never finished them because the product ultimately failed. But people are finding the ROMs, and they're like finishing them. Like developers are finishing the game. And then there's mods out there. I think there's one I saw, you can play like a Street Fighter 2 on the Virtual Boy. And one last thing I will say about the Virtual Boy is it's not really a failure, because the same team that worked on the Virtual Boy made the 3DS and the DS. And
that's cool.
They learned from all of that and all that technology. It's the same idea as the Power Glove was not really a failure, because the Power Glove turned into the Wiimote.
Is there a version of Polybius for the Virtual Boy?
There's a version control. Of
you don't know what you did
for everything, right?
That is something where, do you remember I'm changing the subject real quick here, but I watched an Angry Video Game Nerd episode on Polybius, and then I watched this, like, there was someone online that had this big, long documentary about Polybius. It's interesting because there are some people that are dead set on that it actually exists, and that there were these people that would go in and kind of like read data off of the arcade, and they were it's weird that no one can get to the bottom of, like, does Polybius exist? And it's such like a what is it? What is the term I'm looking for? Like something that's not really real. What am I looking for?
Fake news?
Not a wives' tale. Like, what is it called? Like, no,
a myth.
Myth, yeah. It's such a myth. Like, people have gone as far as there was like some German company that went and created an actual version that looked, it had, like, there was one little thing that was different from what people said it actually would look like. And I can't remember, there's a German name of the company. I'm like fascinated by Polybius, if whether it's real or not. But I just want to know, was there a game? Like, was there a game Polybius ever? But anyways, I don't know. Did you guys see that Angry Video Game Nerd episode about that? I just think it's kind of cool. But anyways, I don't know. Oh wait, hold on. TNT Games did a fake video on it, had a mock-up cab. Yeah, I had thought about making, at one point I had thought about making a arcade 1-up Polybius mod, and I'm sure someone's done it by now, but I just thought it's probably a waste of time, and I don't know what game I'd actually run on it. But anyways, it's pretty fun to think about urban legends. Urban legend, that was it. Urban legend is what the word I was looking for. Yeah, but Justin just stared at me when I asked. So cool.
Well, I came up with the myth thing. Jeez, what's your problem? You know. So while we're on the subject, I do want to show real quick something that I did get that I think is really cool. It's so bad.
Oh, I didn't know you have that.
Oh, yeah.
Is it work?
Well, yeah, it does. I have two of them, and
why do you have two?
Well, I'll show you.
You have one in plastic? Are you Glenn now? Are you Glenn from Glenn's Retro Show?
so I bought this one, right? This one's for me, and this one's for my daughter.
Oh, nice.
No. Check it out. Do you see a difference? One's an adult version, and one's a kid's version.
There was a kid's version of the Power Glove?
Kid's version of the Power Glove.
Those look like in really good shape, too. Where the hell did you get that?
eBay.
So do you remember trying to play, like, so as a kid, I think you have so much more forgiveness for crappy products, because as a kid, I thought the thing was absolutely awesome. And I remember playing, I think it was like I wanted to play Mike Tyson's Contra with it. And like you could do like jumps and shooting with, like, it was goofy because I'm like sitting there with the D-pad on it and you're playing games that really don't make any sense to play it. But as a kid, you didn't care. You thought that was super cool as a kid. I don't know. I wish sometimes as an adult I had as much patience for stuff like that. I feel like now I give up too easily if it doesn't work exactly how I want it to work, which is kind of sad.
Okay, but, I'll show one more, okay, and then we can move on to your.
Yeah, I have one more thing that I have to actually go get anyway. First? Oh, no, okay. I don't have it. It's in the back because I couldn't get it out because it's like all surrounded by stuff. Actually, what do you guys want me to do? I real quick, I'm going to take a little poll here. One of the things I have is arcade related, and the other one is not. I think if you're really into arcades, you'll find the one thing interesting. I've shown it on the show before, but I just think it's one of those things where if you're like getting into the hobby, but you know that you're really in love with it, and it's like these things you're doing now become stepping stones, you'll actually want one of these eventually. So there's that, whatever it is that I'm going to talk about. And then the other thing would be more console related that I have that I think is cool. So you guys tell me, do you want to do an arcade thing or a console thing? And then I'll throw it back to Justin right now because he seems super eager beaver to do it.
I'm really because I don't know what it is. I don't know. Some of these things that we were talking about, we didn't tell each other what they are. So, I'm just.
I didn't know you were going to bust out the Power Glove at all. So
yeah, exactly. So we got someone says why not? We got both. Of course, everyone's going to say why not both. All right. So do you have one that's nearby?
No, I have to get both of them.
Okay.
If I do both.
All right. So I'll talk about this one while you go get it. Okay. You're going to miss out on it though, but I'll show you afterwards.
Okay.
All right, go check it out. So one of the other things that I picked up, and I got to clean this up. It's a little dusty, but I did pick up Rob last year when I was maybe it was like 2 years ago. I was starting to do a lot of collecting, and that one it was a really good deal. So I got the full. I think it was called the deluxe version. I can't remember. There's like a couple different versions. It's complete in box, and I got it for $100. Like I was on eBay, and they're always going for like $500. And then there was this one, and it was they never sold anything, and I had to take a risk, right? I was like, is this real? Do they really have? And they only had one picture, and it was in a really dark room. And so I took the chance. I paid the $100, and they shipped me the Rob, the full kit, Nintendo, all original. It wasn't like sealed or anything like that, but it was in pretty decent condition, and that has become part of my collection. And I then ended up getting. I will tell a quick story about it while Ralph is getting set up. So I talked to this guy. He came to my house, and he was doing some work on my house about a year ago, and he saw that I had like all these collections, right? And he was like, "Okay, so I have to tell you the story. This is this guy telling me a story." And he said in 1986, him and his sister, and they were young at the time, right? They were kids, were celebrating Christmas, and their parents bought them an original Nintendo. Like the original Nintendo, fully sealed in box, and it was, under the Christmas tree. And as he's explaining the story, he says that, but him and his sister got in trouble. They did something wrong, and so the parents did not give them the Nintendo, and instead they took the Nintendo and put it under their bed. It was under the parents' bed, and they all forgot about it. And so decades went by, and no one remembered, and no one looked underneath the bed. Ralph is having issues. No one looked under the bed to see that there was actually a Nintendo complete in box in there, until eventually he said his parents died. So as he's telling me the story, he's saying 2 years ago, my parents died, and that was sad. But then they were going through their house and trying to clean out everything. I'm telling a story real quick, Ralph.
Okay.
And so they clean out everything, and they lift up the bed, and there it is. There's the Nintendo from 1986, fully sealed. And I'm like at the edge of my seat when he's telling me this story. And then the guy said, but those things aren't worth anything anymore. So we went ahead and opened it up and played it and let the kids play it. And they didn't really like it because the quality wasn't very good. And that was it. And I sat there and I looked at him and I made a choice. I either look at him and say, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because do you know how much a new in-box sealed Nintendo is worth? Or do I just say, that's a good story? And I said, that's a good story. And that's the end.
I like the version where I call you mean for wanting to be mean to him. Like, that's cool. He didn't know, dude. What a jerk.
Yeah, like your kid, he's like, and that's when you should have said, so you never cleaned under your bed, ever. Completely missed the point.
Yeah, well, that reminds me of a story real quick. It's a little inappropriate for the show, but kind of funny. So I had this friend girl in high school, and I'll admit in high school, maybe I might have dabbled in like marijuana use a little bit. Okay. And I had a buddy who, a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. And I had a buddy that's like, I'm going to get a bong. And I was like, ooh, I don't want to have one of those because they're, that could, that's too much paraphernalia. My mom ever saw that. So he had a bed, he had a wood floor in his room and a bed that stood about this far off the ground. And he put it under his freaking bed. I'm like, why would you do that? Because all it would take is his mom, like, something falling on the floor, and she'd pick it up and go, what? What's that? So I'm like, dude, why would you put it under your bed? Anyways, but he didn't have anything under his bed but that. I'm like, you wouldn't cover it up or try to hide it. Anyways, let's get to my thing before Justin's like, wow, I didn't know that you're going to talk about drugs on the show. All right, let me get on to my team. All right, let me see.
You ready?
Cam up real quick. Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be good, guys.
All right. So all right. So I know we've covered these on the show before, but what this is at first glance, what's so cool about this is it's a consoleized Neo Geo MVS system. So it does play Neo Geo carts. So this is something that you could hook up to your TV. So, and ignore this cable on the side because I'm going to show you what that is. So you can hook this up to your TV and you can play MVS games on your TV, and it'll even accept a SNK Neo Geo CD controller. You can even, so the way they designed it's pretty cool. It'll actually accept the Sega Saturn controller too. This is very fun. So that multi-cart that you saw, that Neo Geo multi-cart, that's what I run in this most of the time. So you can put one of those multi-carts in and you can just play your Neo Geo games. And it's got 161, doesn't have the whole collection, but it has some duplicates, but it's pretty damn fun. So what makes this unique is not only is it a consoleized MVS, but there's this little button on the side, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but it says JAMA or MVS. So basically what happens is you turn on JAMA mode and you can hook this, you have this hooked up to your TV anyway, you hook your arcade board in here, and now you can test or play individual arcade boards with a controller, and you don't need an arcade cabinet. So this is a really cool piece of technology. Like, this is one of the neatest things I have. But what I went to get as my number 2, and I hope, this is for everyone.
You went to go number 2? What?
No. Hold on, let me get this back. I hate when my camera does this autofocus nonsense. Why?
All right, Ralph, calm down.
Oh my God. How do I get that to stop? That's super annoying.
Zoom in a little more. He's all like, do it. The camera just over and over. Do it.
All right. Okay. There it is. It stopped. Okay. So check it out. So you got the Neo Geo MVS stuff, but here's what's super. Is it doing it again?
Yeah.
Why does it do that? That's
the lighting annoying. Or something. Like turn off that light or something.
All right. So check this out. So this, I don't even think I ever unboxed. It's not an unboxing, but you're never gonna guess what this is, and it's in really good shape. So I'm gonna unwrap the bottom of it. You
teased this recently, right?
I don't think I did. No, I didn't.
No,
this isn't.
I thought you took a picture and you're like, "Can you guess what this is?"
It's not that. No, okay. It's way cooler than that.
Oh,
so this looks like a board that's in pretty good shape, right? Like that looks like it's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
This is an MK1. So this is an original Mortal Kombat. Yeah, this is an original Mortal Kombat. Now, the annoying thing about these Midway boards, well, first of all, this one's in really good shape. I don't know if it's coming through as well as it could on the camera, but this one's in awesome shape. But the one annoying thing is that Midway boards had a main board and a sound board. So you needed both of these things. And this is the same case with, wow, my camera's glitching out hard.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's happening. This was like this for NBA Jam, for Mortal Kombat. I don't know about Mortal Kombat 2 because I've never actually owned a Mortal Kombat 2 board, but this is really awesome. I love this. I did hook it up the other day without the soundboard just so I could play it. But the thing is, so like if you wanted to hook it up without the soundboard,
I thought it looks like the power circuits are on the soundboard.
Yeah, this whole thing it actually still, let me see. Yeah, no, this is all the sound. I know I hooked it up without the soundboard because I didn't have power to it. But yeah, so I didn't put the soundboard on.
That must be just powering the sound side. Yeah.
And then it gets power from this board actually. There's a little connector. I can't remember where it is.
Okay.
There's a little part of this I don't have. I think it's this jumper that's right here. Goes to
the
jumpers over here.
I see. Yeah.
So it doesn't have its own. It gets power from this. So anyway, so what you could do is, you want to, this is a little bit more complicated because it's a Midway board, but you can plug in your board to this device and then play it on a TV. Now, it's not the most practical thing in the world, but what people like to do is if you're building arcade cabinets or you're big into arcades, you may have a super gun to be able to test arcade boards, right? So you'll do these to test them. So a lot of people that sell them will sell arcade boards, will have a one of these super gun things. So alone, this is called an MV or a consoleized MVS, but it has a super gun in it, and the super gun is a piece of hardware that they do sell by itself to just hook up an arcade board. This is taking two devices and turning it into one. Yeah, but it's a pretty neat piece of technology. And I forgot I had this Mortal Kombat 1 board, and when I was sifting through the boards to show, I was like, oh my gosh, a lot of people would dig that this is a Mortal Kombat 1. I actually had intentions of, I was going to do an arcade 1-up mod that I thought people would make fun of me for. I was going to take, this was a long time ago, Zohar, so this isn't something recent. This was a while ago. When the Mortal Kombat first came out, I was going to work with Joe Sabo. I never actually did. I was going to work with him to do Mortal Kombat 1 artwork, which he does offer. And I was going to make a straight up Mortal Kombat 1 with the original hardware mini version. But what I really want to do someday is, how cool would it be? Like in arcade, if Arcade 1-Up, so I'm drawing some attention to Zohar again on this, but hear me out for a minute. You guys know what Midway cabinets looked like, right? You guys remember? I don't need that camera anymore, Justin. Here, I'm gonna put on. You guys, those of you, does everyone pretty much remember what a Mortal Kombat cabinet used to look like? If not, I'm gonna pull one up really quick so you can see.
Is it who's on the side? I don't want to say it because if I get it wrong, Zoltar's gonna kill me, right? But it's got.
Well, I was gonna pull up not the original, but I was gonna pull up. Actually, yeah, I'll pull up the original. It's hard to find an original that actually doesn't have a lot of people converted them to. Here, I found one.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up.
That's not the right one because it wasn't shaped like that. Hold on. Sometimes the problem with all these arcade cabinets is people will put them in different cabinets, and then you end up with like cabinets that have been bastardized. I'm trying to find an original. There's a lot of MK2s around. I think that's the original Mortal Kombat. The problem is you don't see. Yeah, that looks right. So here, let me pull that up really quick.
Can you see the top of it? Is it Johnny Cage then? Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't pull up. I want to make a big image of it because what I was gonna say is, let me see, can I pull that one up? Oh, that image is really crappy. Anyway, you guys see what it looks like, right?
There we go.
That one doesn't look right. That one looks close. That someone made a Pandora's box. But anyways, you guys get the general idea of the shape of a Mortal Kombat cabinet. What I think would be cool is if Arcade 1-Up if they are gonna do a re-release, make it look like the Midway cabinet. Like, don't mess around. Make the control panel look exactly like the Midway cabinet, not their generic control panel. I think they would sell. I know they sold a ton of those Mortal Kombats anyway. I think they would sell a ton of them to go, this is like the fan ultimate version of a Mortal Kombat, and make it look like a Midway cabinet. I think it'd be awesome. I also think if they could get the rights to, stuff like this, you do Killer Instinct, but do Killer Instinct exactly too. Make the control panel look exact. I just don't know if they'll ever be able to get the rights to do it that way. But if they do, gosh, I feel like so many people would be on board with that. Like a pro line of their cabinets that really did mimic the real look of the actual cabinet. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if they ever do it. Oh, look, Stringer Film says he's building one right now. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like that's the one thing that if I was going to say what's Arcade 1-Up version 2.0 look like, it's have a like consumer line and then have a prosumer line. And your prosumer line is just like off the charts authentic to the originals.
Yeah.
Maybe not 100%, but the shapes are, make limited quantities. I think they'd sell them.
Yeah, I think so. I think
not gonna. Is that what he said? Nope, not gonna.
I mean,
not gonna. Like, oh yeah, not gonna happen. I know it would be really neat though if they did do it. But
anyways, I mean, Burger Time is them kind of getting closer to that, but it would be cool if they took it further.
He says the one time I leave for 20 minutes and this happens. Wait, did you miss?
We were talking all about MK the whole time, right?
Wait, did he actually miss the MK? The actual? Did he miss the board?
Yeah, I think so. You have to go back and watch
it. Actually, so funny thing is, Justin, I did set up this live stream so that you can rewind now. I never use that function. So if someone's watching our stream, you should be able to pause the stream in the middle of the stream. I usually disable that feature, and I was like, why should I disable that? That's actually kind of cool. So I don't know if you guys can test that, but you should be able to pause the stream and resume the stream now. I don't know why I didn't have that set initially, but that'll help with that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
Well, but Zohar, you can watch it in replay. But we've been having some problems. So guys, not that I want to talk about this because it's not that interesting, but it's worth bringing up. So the last live stream Justin and I did, it wasn't available after replay, and a lot of it has to do with there's so many people on YouTube that there's a lot of congestion in their network. So some of the videos are not readily accessible as soon as the live stream's over. So hopefully that doesn't happen with this one for those of you that missed out on some of the sections, but that's not anything we can really control. So
yeah,
Zohar was on the toilet apparently.
I'm glad he's back. So what do we got? I think we gotta start.
Rewind is working. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to take a poll real quick. Do you guys like these share fun stuff episodes? We had just been doing so many more episodes that take a lot of preparation. Not that this didn't take some, but we were doing all these like super elaborate things with multi-camera setups and stuff. So I'm just wondering, is this something that you guys enjoy? like sharing these little fun retro things. If so, we'll share more of them. It won't be like every episode or something, but I think it's fun to slide in there one episode like this every now and then.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to do a poll, so I just yes or no. Pitbull is actually one that says don't use 1 and 0, use yes and no. Or is it even 1 and 0? I don't even know what the hell it is. And I have to give a shout out to Nikki because she's our one female viewer, so that's pretty cool. When I look at the metrics, we have like it's like 0.001. So Nikki, you're 0.001. That doesn't mean you're 0.001 like of a human being. You're just 0.001 of the audience. So YouTube's weird.
Yeah,
Justin's laughing uncomfortably, like I said something stupid.
I do want to bring up. Someone was saying in the chat how they're picking up these arcade 1-up cabinets. We talked about that before, but I want to mention I've been looking at the data for my website, and I see I haven't had a time to analyze
2 females.
Constantly.
Hold on, 2 women viewers.
All right, very good.
Hold on. Are there any more out there? Because that's kind of cool. Why do you want to listen to us? Are you nerdy too?
That's cool. So I wanted to mention about. Oh, then there's Kim. I did want to mention about those deals. They're not. They may be going to more Walmart. So keep checking BrickSeek. Keep checking my site if you like using that. Check the Walmart app. I've seen it where more stores have been adding the $50 cabinets. There's stores that did not originally have it, so it's kind of fluctuating. I even saw, in my case, there was a store near me that went out of stock and then came back in stock of a $50 cabinet. So I don't know how long that'll last, but I did want to mention
there's some flirting going on there's some flirting going on in our chat. It says
there's the girl. She's all like, "Hey guys."
No, Nikki goes,
"Welcome back."
Wait, I'm a nerd, and then my family's all nerdy girls are hot. and then Natalie's all total nerd over here. Emoji with glasses.
Yeah,
I love it.
Good. I think it's time, Ralph. It's time.
Well, wait, there was one other thing. I think there's one more thing. I really want to get the perspective. And I know, Nikki says, yeah, sorry, I'll flirt a little bit, but I am married. So she's like, I'm taken, but don't take it the wrong way. My family's probably married too. I'm sure. I just made all that up.
Yeah.
So no, what I was going to say is, I hope you're not mad if I go here, because I did not tell you I was going to do this. But what do you think? Like, does the liquidation of the cabs say anything negative as to the state of arcade 1-up, or is it just normal to liquidate the older cabs? As I turn into the darkness. Did you listen to anything I just asked
I listened to everything you said, and I think it's kind of interesting. I think the liquidation of the arcade 1-up cabinets is what makes all of us happy.
What?
No, I don't know what that was.
You're being weird.
I am being weird. So I think it's up to the retailer to decide if they want to liquidate cabinets. And I think obviously there's a lot of people that are going into Walmart and only purchasing essentials. And obviously arcade 1-up is also an essential. So they wanted to make sure that those are being sold too. No, I went in a direction. I decided to go in a direction that I didn't like. So anyway, I think they just wanted to move more cabinets, and they knew that the shoppers that are in there, if all of a sudden saw a cabinet for $50, they'd be like, okay, I'll pick them up. And keep in mind, these are also like none of the cabinets that I've seen. It's weird. So it's like Star Wars for some reason got into the list of the $50, but did anyone pick up like a Marvel superhero for $50? Like it seemed...
I don't think that was part of them, but that was weird because like, why not? If you're going to put Star Wars in it, because you think about when they came out. I agree with what mostly everyone is saying in the chat, though. I think it's just it's not 1-up. Once 1-up sells them to Walmart can do what they want, right? Walmart can list them for whatever price they want. I mean, obviously they have guidelines they need to follow, but I think it's just where it happened again last year at this time. It's a means for them to get rid of the inventory and make the space for the new ones. Right. That is a really good question that GameBit just put up, or you just put up from this. How much do they lose at $50? I have no clue what Walmart's cost of goods is on a unit like that.
Right.
But I would imagine it's a loss for them on some of these, right? But probably okay when they look at the greater good.
Well, yeah, exactly. This is what Scott, the CEO of Arcade 1-Up, said. And if you kind of expand on what he's trying to say, I'll elaborate. So let's say Walmart buys them in bulk, right? So don't think about it like as an individual. And I like this too. So going back to console kits, right? So I would purchase $5,000 worth of modding goods, right? That's what I would do. It's a small business, really, really tiny business, really a hobby, right? But even I understand this concept at this small scale, that I invest $5,000, right? I buy a whole bunch of Nintendos and a whole bunch of modding stuff, right? And then as I start to test them and play with them and go through the entire, and then eventually I sell them to customers, as I make a profit, it's going against that 5,000 that I invested. And at a certain point, hopefully soon, I break even. And then I start making a profit. And I'm way past that on my last run of arcades. I probably have about 20 20 arcades where I could sell them super cheap and I'm ahead because I'm already in the profit margin area. So, I'm assuming at the scale of Walmart, when they sell a cabinet for $50, they're not thinking, well, I picked it up for $150 or whatever price they pay for them.
Yeah.
So I lost $100. They're thinking we sold tens of thousands of them, 100,000 of them, and we're way in the green. So dropping them for $50 is just to move inventory.
Yeah.
That's my
Did you see the Stringer Films sent $2 super chat? Thank you for that. Did you see what he did to this Centipede? It's got like a recessed screen.
What?
That's pretty cool, actually.
What
did you do?
Yeah.
Did you paint around the border to make sure it looked black all around? Like, how did you box this in? That's pretty cool, actually. I've seen a couple people do things like this, but that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
But see, like, that would be an easy one for them to do. Like, make some game, like, all the Nintendo cabinets were like that, where you had like a piece of glass or what would be the bezel, and the monitor is actually set back, but it's all black inside. They actually had, we'll do another video on the Play Choice 10, but there's actually like, you'd think it'd be more sophisticated than this, but it's almost like just a paper surround that they put there so that no light gets through. But that's really neat, man. Thanks for sharing that. That's cool.
That's really cool. Well, I think, Ralph, we're up to our hour, and it's time. It's time for final thoughts.
All right. Well, thanks, Justin. We learned today that 0.0000000 he stopped playing music. We learned today, but hey guys, it's final thoughts time. We learned today that 0.000000001% of the audience is female, but we do appreciate that women actually give a crap about this geeky stuff too, and you're one of us. So when you're here, you're part of the family. We also learned that we also learned what console kits mean. Ralph had no clue, apparently, because he's got a feeble brain. We also learned that Ralph has copious amounts of arcade stuff that he probably doesn't use, and it probably sits on a shelf, but he wishes he would be able to get to it. We also learned that Ralph has run out of things to talk about.
All right. Well, that was a lot of fun, guys. I really appreciate it. You coming, hanging out with us, the one-uppers, and we're gonna be.
Oh, I did miss one thing. Play the riff again.
Oh God.
And we learned that Zohar can't listen to basic instructions that Ralph gave to him to not do $99 super chats. They're greatly appreciated, but completely unnecessary. And we will see you guys
on the next
one.
All right, guys. Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, wait, no. I refuse. Closing time. Do it.
Oh, what?
Do it.
No.
Come on, do it.
No, I'm not doing closing time.
People are actually still watching
encore. You make me dizzy, running circles in my hand. One of these days I'll break you down. Ralph.
Closing time, please.
I'm not singing crazy. What's it called again?
Closing time.
Closing time. I'm gonna sing Foo Fighters. Gotta get out.
Just leave to prove a point. Just kidding, because you won't listen. Please.
Closing time.
Come on.
Fine. I don't even remember the song.
It was closing time. One last call for alcohol. So
finish your
yeah. Or that. We're gonna have a copyright strike. We ain't gonna make any money.
Oh, we're totally gonna get demonetized.
It's okay because you ran away. But so hard we'll super chat us. So I might be able to pay my rent today. All
right, Ralph. It's time.
Hey, chassis. Sweet home, okay, chassis.
Come on. It's over. It's over.
Is it really done? I'm really extending this time, huh? I do really like Foo Fighters though. But yeah, we just chassis. Chassis.
All right. So how are we gonna end this?
Chassis. It's never over.
It's never over.
Never over because I come from an Italian family. We don't say goodbyes. We don't know how. Possible. Oh wait, hold on. There's a bedtime head strap available here. Did you know that? There's a bed head strap available for your virtual boy, so you can
closing time.
You'll see red for another week.
Hold on. Closing time. You want?
I love that Zero Hero's name has the hashtag at the end. He's like, you know what? It's not hashtag anything. It's Zero Hero.
Hashtag.
No, there's a pause too. It's Zero Hero hashtag. there's like a hashtag.
All right. Just hold on.
That's cool. He beats his own drum. I like it. That's not closing time.
Okay. Closing time. Open up the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn off all the lights on from every boy and never. I can't even hear myself.
Girl. So gather up your jackets.
Come on.
Move into the exits. I know you have found a friend. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And this is when you're all. We gotta go.
We lost like 50 people, dude. You're welcome. All right. Thank you very much. This is the end of the One Up Weekly.
And we will see you
on the next one.
Next one. All right.
The next one.
Hey, guys.
Hit the end button now before you start anything else. On the next one. Bye. Everybody leave. Let's get the number down. Hit the like button and leave. Hit the like button and leave. There we go. Go. Bye. We'll see you.